Hello everyone and welcome to another Carte Deck Talk. This time it's gonna be slightly different. We're gonna do a raid edition deck talk, and the raid we're gonna be talking about is Argos. So I'm here today with AmareeLis, and hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Nice to have you here today. So how exactly does Argos work?
Yeah, the boss is actually immune to any type of damage, and the way you can kill it is to damage the creatures he summons. So, for every creature that you kill, the boss will take 10 damage, and the boss has 60 HP in total.
Okay. And how big are the creatures that he summons?
So, for the creature, like the boss has 3 different phases. For phase 1, the boss will summon one creature that has 10 damage and 25 HP. And this creature is immovable and has skill words. And also, if you actually kill it, dealing the killing blow with magic spell, the creature will just simply respawn again. So don't do that, I guess. But yeah, also when the creature dies, it will deal 1 damage to all your creature and your allied creatures as well.
Okay.
Yep. And when that finished, you will move on to phase 2, and the boss will just summon 2 creatures instead of 1. And same deal, but now, when it dies, it will deal 2 damage instead of 1, and yeah, same goes for phase 3. The boss will summon 3 creatures, deal 3 damage upon death instead of 2.
Okay.
And when you finish that, you win the raid.
Okay. And the creatures attack other creatures that you summon or unprotected heroes, but also the boss deals damage to every hero. 1 point of damage every turn, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. So at the beginning of each of the boss turn, he will actually deal 1 damage to all the heroes, and also the creatures that he summon will heal by 1 HP as well in the same time.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, I know that there is a limit to how many creatures you can summon in attack zone before the boss just destroys them all.
Yep, that's right. There's a maximum of 3 creatures on the offense zone. Otherwise, if you have more than 3, then he will just wipe your creeps, but not your allies. So if at least if your allies stuff up, your creatures won't die, but your friends will.
Okay.
Yep.
So now that we have an idea of how the raid works, what's the main strategy for beating it?
The main the strategy?
Yes.
Basically, the typical deck that people usually use is red, with lots of damage, level 1 creatures as well, because you actually need to sacrifice your mana at turn 1. Otherwise, you will take 10 damage straight away. And you need high damage creatures, lots of battle training, and you can also have some like white creatures that heals your HP, like healers or Nurse of Xenote. And some people run Angelic Shield as well, but you don't need both. You either usually have a shield or the creatures. Yeah.
So you run Nurse of Xenote or the Witch Shield?
Healer.
The basic Angelic Shield.
Yeah, the basic. Yep. And Angelic Shield.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And are there any special tricks for trying to beat the raid?
Yep. Basically, usually when you first start it, you don't attack the boss straight away, because he will most likely he can have the Death or the Devil tarot card. And when he uses that, basically he will wipe one of your creeps and his creature as well. So you have to start over from beginning. So you don't want to start dealing damage and then waste all of your creatures in the zone. You want to save them up until he uses that. And also the other thing is he actually target the lowest HP anything in the zone. So if say your hero is at 2 HP left, then you better be careful and put things in defense. But generally you put things in defense as well, like low HP creatures and low attack. So you can actually defend and put your attacker in the high damage in the attacking zone, so you can actually deal the damage that way. Yep. And there are some actually really useful cards as well to use.
Okay.
Yep, like Cruel Despair is really popular because it can swap the AP and HP of the creatures. So essentially, instead of having to deal 25 damage to kill it, you just need 10 damage because you swap them around. And after you use that spell, if you actually have like Omen of Resurrection, which is a white common magic spell, or a Legacy Restoration, you can essentially get that card back and use it for your second phase or third phase. And also, like, there are some other things like Mirror Flower, which is a green common creature that people use also, because if you sacrifice that into your mana zone, you can give skill ward to one of your creature, which means that they will not take that damage whenever the phase ends, and therefore they can survive, to the next round.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the strategy of taking one creature and building him really big so he can just one hit the enemy
in the end?
Summons?
Yeah, that strategy also exists, but it's actually one of the slow ones, because essentially that means each turn, instead of you dealing the damage, you're actually skipping turns and just buffing that creeps, slowly, like 1 AP each turn. So like using the Errant Warrior, I believe, and Royal Mage is what usually people do. Like, they put the Errant Warrior in offense, and each turn they will just add 1 AP, and using the Royal Mage to further buff that as well. And there are some like similar type ones, like they use vampires, for example, in the purple basic creatures. They put vampire in the offense, and whenever, say, the creatures trying to attack their defensive creature, they will sacrifice that creature to gain for the vampire, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. So you grow the vampire.
That's right. Similarly. Creatures. Yeah, but then, as usual, it will be slower, because that means that at that turn, because the creatures will just keep healing that 1 HP every turn anyway, while you just slowly, buff the vampire, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the fastest way to do it is just playing red aggro.
Yeah, red aggro. You can also put like rushers in, because if you have rushers, creatures like Furies, Commando, like Slave Gladiator, basically any kind of red rush creatures, when you actually do need that little bit extra of damage in the end, you can just cast it down and then kill, do the killing blow.
But they won't damage your hero. Is it a big problem?
In a way, I never find it like as a problem, because, as I said, if you run just a bit of white creatures, healer, like Nurse of Xenot, I don't actually use the shield, because I think you don't really need that much HP, because you can also use tarot cards, for example. The Lovers is a good one, like healing for HP to your, all the heroes. So, and of course, if you also have the raid card, which is really, the Orb of Life, I think that's what it's called. So generally, if you basically kill him fast, he will not, be able to kill you, before 16 turns.
Yeah.
That
makes sense. So for the final wave, do you try to destroy one of the creatures with like a magic spell at the beginning, just so you don't have to deal with 3 at the same time?
It is easier to kill like one as soon as possible. Say, for example, in your sorry, I'm coughing. Just got a bit of a cold. So, say for example, in phase 2, when you have 2 creatures, it is better to generally kill one first as soon as possible. But you also have to be careful, because you know that when that one die, you will all your creature will take 2 damage, upon death. So you have to calculate it properly so that you don't actually kill your own creeps because you kill the boss too fast or something. Yeah.
Okay. What about using something like the Death Tyrant to just kill off one of the summons at the beginning of the, for example, third round, so you only have 2 to
Yeah.
deal with, and then he resummons the third one?
That is used as well in the past when I guess people still doing it the slow way, like say the vampire, errant warrior, and also the other one was using courage creatures. So same idea. People
Yeah.
just use courage and then attack the boss slowly, each turn, because essentially if you death one, you will delay, again, like because when you finish, he will summon again, So
Yep.
yep. So yeah.
So you can comfortably kill all 3 of them if every player is just playing red aggro
Playing
deck.
red aggro with healing, because if you don't have, say, Cruel Despair, or you don't have all these fancy cards, I will recommend to have just basic red cards with level 1 creeps, because you do need them, for the start,
Yeah,
for the
at
beginning.
least one person has to play a blocker, basically, or an attacker.
Yeah, yep, that's right. And for healing as well, you need healing. Definitely, if you don't have good cards, you need Angelic Shield so that you can survive, actually, because essentially that means each turn you can just heal 1 HP and you will be fine. Yeah.
So,
And sorry, just one more
Okay.
thing is also to get the draw card ability. If you really don't have, fancy cards, get the blue draw card ability. I'm not sure what it's called, but there's basic cards as well.
I believe 4 mana.
Yeah, the
basic.
4 mana, or I think there's the one that costs a bit less. I think I'm
Or
not sure. The one that
was
just
it 3
draw.
mana?
Yeah, draw 2 cards and 1 card as well for your ally. I'm not sure of the name though.
Oh, it's the 2 mana Strange Care.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
draw 2
that's the one.
cards, other players draw 1 card.
Yep. Because if you only have basic card, one of the problem will be that you might actually run out of cards because you can't kill him fast enough. So yeah.
But then you would need to compensate with extra healers, because you're
healing.
losing 2 HP with this. Okay.
Yep.
So what kind of top-end creatures do you run for this raid? We talked about the 1-drops, and I'm guessing 2-drops, like, it's basically just slightly bigger 1-drops, and it's gonna be guys like the 3-1 or the 1-1 with attacker 2 or whatever.
Yep. For level 1 creatures, the one that's really good is Safeguard, because if actually it survives for even middle game, or when you can actually attack, you essentially want to just sacrifice him and gain extra 2 AP. So that's extra damage. But for any other level 1 creature, anything goes, like whatever you can have, like militia, even whatever that is. But for level 2, I use Flame Fist Fighter because
Yep.
he essentially just has higher damage.
Yep.
Level 3, actually, if I don't use any level 3 creatures, because Errant Warrior, once again, is just slower. But if you don't have anything else better, I guess use that. But
I mean, he
otherwise,
still has 3 AP, so he's not that bad just playing him as an attacker.
yeah, he's not that bad, but not as useful as the other ones, I guess. Like, say, for example, Hunter, just for 4 mana, has 5 AP. So, just, yeah, not as good.
Yep.
And the other one, you might want to put in a bit like the one with a bit high HP, like Elfish Warrior, for example. Just so, for example, if you cast him down in phase 1 or 2, he will be able to survive the initial damage that the boss will deal upon death. And, you can use him for the next phase, basically.
That makes sense. So basically, you primarily want high P creatures, but a few higher toughness guys with good
Yep, as
APs.
well. Yep,
And the nice
that's
thing
right.
is, all of these cards are basics, or most of them are at least.
Mm. Yep, I think I'm only using basic cards now that I'm looking at my deck. Because I don't really play red as well, so yeah.
Yeah. Which is a problem for a lot of people. They feel like they need to invest a lot to build a proper raid deck.
Mm.
And it appears, at least for this raid, you can do it fairly easily just using the basics.
Yep, that's right. It's not hard, so yeah. Hopefully. The other thing is for tarot cards, I can recommend some really good ones as well.
Okay.
The Hero Pant, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's the one that adding another refresh count. The Empress, which is putting two basic shots for you and your ally as well. The Fool. This one, you can use it as another refresh again because, you might want to refresh more as well.
Yep.
This is typically really useful if you actually have Despair in your deck and you don't draw it, like after you refresh like twice.
Okay.
Yep. And the Lovers, as I mentioned, which is really good for healing your HP. And the last one is the Hermit, which draw extra cards for you and your ally. Yeah.
Which the raids kind of break the whole symmetry of cards because the raid bonus doesn't use them and it helps basically just you and your allies, which is nice.
Yeah. That's right.
And is decking a problem, or do you kill them fast enough that you're not concerned with decking even after using the Fool?
The Fool, I actually will recommend, out of the 5, I will recommend not to use the Fool the most because it is really situational. Sometimes you don't really want to use the Fool, because it does discard you and your ally as well, so you may, they may not want to discard their cards. But if you don't have anything better, because it is a basic card, in case you don't have anything, else
The
to
one of the
use, then
fancier ones?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the other ones you might have to actually spend LP. I think 20,000 LP each to buy them. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so basically the Fool is like a bad Hierophant in this case.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay, because all the other raid cards are absolutely, or all the other turrets are absolutely useless for raids. I mean,
Let me just go through the
you
level.
Death and Devil, you could use them to help.
Yes, but actually I have one guy who used it. Okay, basically the boss was on 3rd phase. He's almost dead on 3 HP. He would have died next turn, and this guy, just used it. Exactly, and then we actually wiped. That's, because, everyone was using basic cards. We were running out of cards. We were just, this is it. And he used Death, and he thought that with using Death he would have helped the whole team because he will die.
But that's not how it works. The only time you want to use Death is at the beginning of the wave, when you can destroy one of the full HP ones, and then. But it still delays how long it takes you to kill him.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
And have a good day. And
you too.
I'll see everyone next time.